Hello dear students of class 9th, welcome to economics class. I hope all of you are fit and healthy. Students, in this video I shall be continuing with the 4th chapter from your economics book, that is food security in India. Students, in the previous video I explained you that why do we need food security, why it is important to have food security. Now students, in this video I shall be moving to the next topic, that is who are food insecure. That means who are the people, who are the section of society that we need to give protection, whom do we need to protect. Students, it completely depends on the situation. For example, you will say that definitely the poorest of the people, definitely you will say that the poorest of the poor, they need protection, they are food insecure. But students, let me remind you one thing that I told you in the previous video, that earlier, like 100-200 years back, during famine, the complete village had to migrate to some other place, and that included the well-off section of that village also, because of lack of food. So it completely depends on the situation. Definitely the poorest of the poor are more food insecure, but it is not that only they will be food insecure. There are other sections of the society can also be food insecure. But students, let me tell you in general. If I talk in general, then you can see here that these people, they are insecure. First we have the rural ones and then the urban case. In case of rural society or the rural case, the worst affected groups are the landless people, the people who do not have their own land, then the traditional artisans, the petty self-employed people, that means the people who do small work. So these are more prone to food insecurity, they are most or worstly affected. Alright, this was in case of rural area. Now let us come to the urban section, the urban area. If I talk about the urban area, then the ill-paid working group, that means the people who are not being paid fairly, they are mostly food insecure. Then the casual laborers and the seasonal laborers, they are more food insecure. So these are the most, or these are the worst affected groups of the society whom do we need to protect, whom do we need to give protection. Now students, as the topic says, whom to give protection or who are food insecure. So I'll explain you this topic with the help of two hypothetical stories that are mentioned in your book. Now you will say that do we have to learn this story? No. These stories are just there to make the concepts more clear, so that you can understand the concept, because it becomes very easy when you understand through a story. So here we have two stories. First is the rural case and then we have the urban case. First is the story of Ramu, and which is the rural case, and second is the story of Ahmed, which is the urban case. So let's start with the rural case, that is with the story of Ramu. So students, Ramu, let's come to the story of Ramu. So Ramu is a casual agricultural laborer and he lives in some village in Raipur. He has a 10-year-old son whose name is Somu, and he also works in order to contribute to the family income, to increase the family income. He works as a pali, that means he looks after the cattle of Sarpanch, for which he is paid rupees 1000 for the complete year. Just imagine the situation. In 1 year he is paid rupees 1000. Alright. And this Ramu, he has 3 more sons and 2 daughters, but they are very small, they are not working, they stay at home. And his wife Suhani, she is also working. She works as a part-time house cleaner for the livestock, and she cleans the dung of the cattle. That means in order to increase the income of the family, she is also working. But let me tell you that she gets half liter milk, some cooked food and some vegetables. For whatever work she is doing, for that she is paid in kind. She is not paid in cash. Now what do you understand by kind? When payment is given in not in cash, that refers to payment in kind. That means given some stuff like grains, vegetables, milk, that refers to paid in kind. So you can see the situation. They are working so hard. The complete family is working so hard. Ramu is also working. His 10-year-old son is also working. His wife Suhani, she is also working. They are working so hard, but they are able to earn a small amount, very small amount, right? And you know, if I talk about Ramu, then in the busy season, Ramu gets work, but for the other time he has to look for employment. For the busy season, that means for the 8 months he is able to find work and he is able to get money. He is able to arrange money for his family to buy the necessities. But for the other 4 months, it is very difficult for the family to survive because work is not there. He is a casual agricultural labor, and agriculture is a seasonal activity. So for the rest 4 months, he has to look for other type of employment. For example, he is engaged in bricklaying, in the construction activities. So these sorts of work he is engaged in when he is not engaged in the agriculture work. So with this hard work, he and his family is able to earn cash and kinds, and from that money he is able to buy certain necessities for the family. But the family has to face a lot of difficulties when he has no work. That means for the rest 4 months when he is unemployed, the family has to face a lot of difficulties. Even the family has to sleep without food. That means they keep on starving. Just you can imagine, there are small children in the family and there is no food. So they have to sleep without food. And this way he is food insecure during 4 months when he remains unemployed because of the seasonal nature of work. As he is engaged in agriculture, and agriculture is a seasonal activity. So when the season is over, when the season is not there, then he and his family has to suffer. So this is the situation of Ramu. Now let's move to the next situation, that means the urban side, with the story of Ahmed. Now I'll explain you the story of Ahmed, and I'll explain you how both the stories are different from each other or how they are related to each other. No, cut this line. So students, now I am going to explain you the urban case, that is the story of Ahmed. Students, Ahmed is a rickshaw puller and he stays in Bangalore, and he has to stay in a jhuggi, that means in slum area. He lives with his 3 brothers, 2 sisters and old parents. Alright, and the survival of the family completely depends on the daily earnings of Ahmed. Some days means when the earning, cut this line. See, Ahmed has earning fluctuations. See, some days when he is able to get passengers, he is able to get good amount. But sometimes passengers are not there. If he is not able to find passengers, then he has to face difficulty, or there is earning fluctuations. He is not able to earn that much. And when he is able to earn, he is able to buy necessities for the family. But when the earning is less, then the family has to face difficulties. But fortunately, he has a yellow card. Now what is this yellow card? It is a public distribution system card. Now what is this? Students, I will be explaining you about card and about this yellow card and about public distribution system in the upcoming videos. Alright, we have a complete topic on, we have a complete topic in which we will study about this in detail. So fortunately he has a yellow card and this card is for below poverty line people. Since he is very poor, so he has that card, and we will see that how with the help of this card the family is able to live properly. You know students, with this card he is able to get sufficient quantity of wheat, rice, kerosene oil, etc. for his family, and you know, at half of the market price. He is able to avail all these things at the price just half of the market price. From where does he get all this? He gets all this from the ration shop which is in his area, which is there is in his locality, and this way the survival of the family is able to managed with less earning also. So if I compare both the situations, that means the situation of Ramu and the situation of Ahmed, then what can we conclude? See, the family earnings of Ramu is also fluctuating, it keeps on fluctuating. When the season is not there, then the family has to face several difficulties. Ramu is not having any card, because of which he has to manage with his small earning. But in case of Ahmed, since he has this yellow card, so from that yellow card he is able to avail the necessities like food, like rice, wheat, sugar, kerosene oil at the price just half of the market price. So because of this card, the family is able to live quite well. Even though Ahmed's earning also keeps on fluctuating, his income is not regular. So this is the difference between both the situations, that both are poor, definitely both are poor. One is the rural case and one is the urban case. But in case of this urban one, since he is having this card, so the situation of the family is not that adverse as compared to the situation of Ramu. So I hope both the situations are clear to everybody. So students, who are or which family is more food insecure? The family of Ramu is more food insecure, because because it is completely dependent, the survival of the family is completely dependent on the earning of Ramu. He is not getting any help from the government because he is not having that yellow card. So I hope both the situations are clear to everybody. Now students, we have certain questions. In the book also you have certain questions based on these two stories. So we will see those questions and we will try to answer them. So students, as you can see on the screen, there are certain questions. The first question is, why is agriculture a seasonal activity? So students, we all know that agriculture is a seasonal activity because every product has a particular season of sowing, a particular season of harvesting and threshing. So that is why agriculture is a seasonal activity. Next, question number 2. Why is Ramu unemployed for about 4 months in a year? See, Ramu is unemployed because he is a casual agricultural labor. He is engaged in agriculture, and since agriculture is a seasonal activity, that is why for the 4 months he is unemployed. For the 8 months he is employed. Whenever there is season of sowing, harvesting, transplanting, he is employed. But for the rest of the months he stays unemployed because of the nature of his work. Alright. Next question, question number 3. What does Ramu do when he is unemployed? When Ramu is unemployed, then he finds work in, when Ramu is unemployed for the 4 months, then he tries to find work in bricklaying and in construction activities. He wants to engage himself in these activities so that he could earn some money for the family. Let's move to the next question. The next question is, who are supplementing income in Ramu's family? Then in Ramu's family, his wife and his 10-year-old son are supplementing the family's income. The wife is working as a part-time cleaner, house cleaner, and his 10-year-old son is working as a pali in the Sarpanch's house. Alright. Next, the next question. Why does Ramu face difficulty when he is unable to have work? See, when he is unable to get work or unable to find work, then there is no income. And if income will not be there, then what will happen? There will not be any food. So since he is food insecure, that is why. So this is the difficulty that he faces when there is no work. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, when is Ramu food insecure? Ramu is food insecure for the 4 months when he is not able to find work. At that time, he remains food insecure. Next question. Does Ahmed have a regular income from rickshaw pulling? No, Ahmed does not have a regular income from rickshaw pulling. His income, his earnings keep on fluctuating. Alright. Then we have the last question. The last question is, how does the yellow card help Ahmed run his family even with small earnings? I am saying again. Now let's move to the last question. The last question is, how does the yellow card help Ahmed run his family even with small earnings from rickshaw pulling? See, that yellow card really helps Ahmed and his family apart from rickshaw pulling, because from that yellow card he is able to procure rice, wheat, sugar, kerosene oil from the nearby ration shops. So this way he is able to procure these goods, and with this the family is able to run quite smoothly. So I hope till here points are clear to everybody. All the questions are clear to everybody. So we have seen that who are more food insecure. So the family of Ramu is more food insecure. Now students, do you know the social composition also affects food security? Social composition means, for example, the SCs, the STs, the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes, the other backward caste, these are socially excluded groups in the society. They are categorized as socially excluded groups, and they are actually deprived of the economic opportunities that I have already explained you in the previous chapter, that these are the socially excluded group, and since they are deprived of the economic opportunities, they are more food insecure. If money will not be there, can a person buy food? No, the person will not be able to afford food without money. So these social groups are also food insecure. Students, not only the social composition, but the people who are affected by some natural disaster, the people who migrate in search of work, the women, the pregnant ladies and the nursing mother, the small children, they are also food insecure. So they are the food insecure population. And you know, if I talk about the nursing mothers, the pregnant mothers, they need proper diet, they need proper nutrition. But the family is so poor that it is not possible for them to procure, to get nutritious food, safe food, and they are deprived of proper and safe food. And because of this, even the newborn babies, the unborn babies, they are also at the risk of malnutrition. So these are the people who are food insecure. And you know, according to the National Health and Family Survey 1998-1999, the number of such women and children in the country is about 11 crore. Just imagine the situation. So I hope this topic is clear to everybody, that who are food insecure. So students, thank you so much. Now students, in the next video, I shall be explaining you about the distribution of food insecure people in our country. Till then, thank you so much. Stay connected and I'll see you in the next video. Do take very good care of yourselves.